Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, friends and audience. Today is basically the first day after the giant blizzard we just had. So I'm going to get back to training llamas, and we just weaned these guys. So now we have a couple dozen young babies that we're going to work with today and do some training. So I'm excited to do it. They're not happy because they miss their moms, but it's a really good chance to work with them and train them and do some fun stuff. So right now is the time where they're kind of like nervous and they're missing their moms. They're not for sure what's happening or why. And so being there to train them and kind of comfort them, walk them through this weaning process is a really good idea. And they kind of bond to you at this time. So we're going to get in this little pen here and start training these guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode today. Let's do it. All right. Hey, Sherpa. We're not going to train all of them today. So probably I'm just going to go through and try to train the ones that are most nervous. Hey, you're not nervous, are you? Are you nervous, Dozer? Cool. I think, how are you, Maribel? When they come up to you, that's always a good thing. These guys are 6 to 8 months old, most of them. And I think the most important thing when I'm training the llamas that I always try to remember, and I kind of tell myself this mentally as we're training them, is that my number one rule is if I'm not in the right mindset to work with these guys, if I'm not happy, if I'm stressed, then I just don't train. So I got to be in a pleasant mood, in a patient mood, and if I am, then I'm going to go train the llamas. And if I'm not, then I just don't go for the day. So I'm in a pretty good mood. I got the training box here, and I'm just going to try to coach a few of them in to the training box. I've got both doors open, and so we're going to see if they'll go in and out of it. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. See? Perfect. All right. He was a little stubborn, but he went through. Sometimes you just get them to stop and think about what they're doing versus be nervous about it. They'll do it. So, all right. Dante, you're up, dude. All right, Dozer boy, show us what you got. Step up. Yeah, boy. All right, well, we have about 9 of them through so far. They're doing pretty good. Had 2 really stubborn ones. 1 got by me already. And that happens, just nice and easy. So, like I said, my number one rule is just be patient. If you don't go out to train, my llamas less I'm patient. And I'm having fun. And I think it really helps get me in the right mindset. So, there's Rhoda Rose. We'll see if she'll come in. All right, let's go, pretty girl. That a girl, nice and easy. Step up. All right. Dante's already been in, so he's gone twice now. You guys are doing good. Solo, do you want to go through? All right, good turn. So my second rule of training is your situation. You got to make sure that the wind is not blowing really hard, and there's not something hitting against the wall, that there's not excavation going next to you with all sorts of beepers and buzzes and loud sounds and noises. And so when you have more distractions, the llamas are, their instinct kicks in and they start paying attention. Hey, you. They start paying attention to whatever that noise is, or they stop paying attention to you. So I try to train always when the opportunity is great. So number one rule, you got to be in a good place mentally and with your patience. And number 2 is you don't want the wind to be blowing really hard, and you don't want anything to be going around you that's going to distract the llama significantly, because you want their attention to be on you. You only need their attention for a short amount of time. So when that situation is perfect, things go really, really well. Nick, what are you guys coming to do? So this is the first time the llamas have been in the box, and they're doing really good. They all know how to step on the scale, so it's not much different than that. So we'll keep pushing these guys through the box. All right, Seamus, you're doing a good job. Big glory. You gave me a run for my money last time. Whoa. Whoa. Stand. Good girl. Nice and easy. Okay, let's just slow down. Easy. 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 Okay, just turn around and think about it. Turn around. Okay. There you go. Now it's all you. Turn around, sweetheart. Easy. Think about it. Oh, you're getting there. Come on, baby. Okay. Step up. There you go. One more time and you're going to get it, huh? All right, Glory. This is it. You can do it. Step up. There you go. There you go. Oh, that a girl. Success is beautiful. Good girl. She's just a little bit nervous than some of the other llamas. Took her 4 or 5 tries. And instead of pushing her harder, I just let her think about it. She did great. That's Glory. Her mom's name is Liberty. Lady Liberty, Lady Glory. American name. I like it. So rule number 3 that I always use when training llamas is if it's not working, it's you, not the llamas. And so don't just keep trying and trying the same thing. You got to do something different because your body language, your temperament, the way you're asking them to do something is not working. So rule number 3, if it's not working, it's you, it's not the llamas. And so you got to find a different way to communicate what you're trying to get them to do. All right, all llamas have been through the training box at least once, most of them twice. So now I'm gonna bring a couple of them into the box and do some touching of the head and neck and legs and feet and just see how they do. So, okay, who's it? Dante, you wanna go? Okay, buddy, step up in. There you go, step up. Attaboy. So now we're going to shut him in and just let him sit here for a second, and then we'll see how he does and reacts to the next level of training. Yeah, see, it's not very scary, is it? I know you want to get out of here. Good boy. Boy, I like to talk to him, want him to feel comfortable. Now I try to get up close to him and kind of let them feel my heartbeat. Seems to help you connect with them a little bit better. I like to massage between their ears right here. Their ears are really sensitive, so when you go to touch them, they usually hate it. Good boy. The more they trust you, ooh, the more. I'm just barely touching them, barely holding them. Nothing's real abrasive here. Nice and gentle. Good boy. All right, he did a great job, so I'm gonna let him out. All done. All right, Dante, out you go. That's a good boy. Nick, you want to come in for training? Well, Mick says it's his turn. All right, Mick. Back up on now, pony. Mick's a little more advanced, so we're going to go ahead and try to touch his feet. Mick, can I see a foot? Good boy. Let's see this foot. All right. I just hold it for a second. Okay. Put it down. Good boy. All right, Mick. Let's see this back leg. Okay. Let me see it. Foot. Foot. All right. Pretty good for a first timer. Good boy, Mick. Let me give you a little hug here. Say thank you and good job. Ooh. I'm gonna let you out. Easy. I always like to let them out on my terms, which basically means they can't act bad right before I let them out or as I'm letting them out. Pretty soon these guys are gonna be jumping in and out of the trailer on their own, taking a saddle, and here in about 5 or 6 months they'll get their first outings on the trail in the mountains away from the ranch, which is always a really cool benchmark that all the llamas get to hit. How about you? You want some training? All right, kiddos. You can go back in there now. There you guys. Nick, you don't want to leave? Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. It was a nice little training session. Didn't take very long to get through quite a few Kriyas, but it was really fun. It's fun to see their personalities. Some of them are doing great, others are just doing okay. But it's another day in the llama life. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and share. We'll see you guys in a few days.